Hey Tony, it's Friday, and I'm in my usual spot for the first time in what feels like weeks, because it has been weeks. So, first off, to answer your question of the week, my favorite class in Oblivion is a spell sword, hands down. I love playing a Dark Elf spell sword and being able to, stab him with a sword and shoot a fireball at him. That's just fun to me. But I also like, even in D&D, I enjoy my spell swords, so that could be why I do that. So today was kind of busy, but it was good. I've spent all day in court, as you can tell by my fancy jacket and tie. And yesterday I spent all day in court, and as I'm sure you can tell, I shaved the other day, and I kind of needed to, so there's that. But what I want to talk about this week is something that I feel is really important, and it's going to bring back to what I usually do, and that's politics. So, as we all well know, the American political system is in shambles right now, due to both parties, really, putting party over country. And that's an issue, because it's stopping any chance to compromise. Now, this could be because I'm an attorney, or a soon-to-be attorney, but compromise is really important to what you can and cannot do in the legal field. Like, as many cases as I have, most of my cases are settled in mediation, in which I give the landlord something, and the landlord gives my client something. Both sides, the joke goes, are equally dissatisfied. And that's how things should work. The issue we're having in the country right now, both in the streets and on Capitol Hill, is people aren't willing to compromise. They aren't willing to give a little. They want to use the term, they want to have their cake and eat it too. Which I'm sure you've heard the phrase before, Tony, but it basically means that they want to get what they want and do it the way they want to do it. And that's just not how it happens. A very common occurrence of someone wanting their cake and eating it too in housing court is they want to not pay any rent and stay there forever. And you can't really have that, because that's just a non-starter, because nothing's going to work on that. And that's one thing that is really missing in our country right now. And that is the powers that be are not willing to sit, talk, and compromise. Which is sad, really. It's what the government is supposed to do. It's supposed to do what's best for their constituents and not what's best for their party. And you see that this week with, for example, the Nunes memo that just came out today. Which, I don't know if you've followed that at all, Tony, but the Nunes memo is basically the chairperson of the House Intelligence Committee is basically came out and said, oh, the FBI did all these things wrong, and we need to, do something about that. And there are a lot of issues with this right now. The first issue is the fact that all Democrats were against it. The FBI, the CIA, and the Justice Department were all against it. And many Republicans were. Like, one of my favorites was from Senator John McCain, who I might disagree with him politically, but he's somebody who I generally respect. And John McCain basically said, we're doing Russia's job for them. By splitting this discord, we're making it very difficult to sit and talk. And this could turn into huge news. Nobody knows what's going to happen with it right now. But the thought is that it could lead to President Trump firing his assistant attorney general, and then firing Robert Mueller, who's doing the Russia probe, which is bad. For those who like rule of law, meaning most people, and most particular lawyers, rule of law is really important to us, because without laws, we really have nothing. And that's a concern that this is starting to hurt that. And I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday. Now, she used to be pretty conservative. She still is pretty conservative, but she was just getting just as upset with everybody else as we are. She's just like, I might have conservative values, but I still think we need to have moderates in there to compromise and talk things over. And I agree with her completely. Now, I myself am obviously very leftist. I mean, I work in a legal aid organization, for God's sake. The people in most people in legal aid who work for legal aid aren't conservatives. They're liberals. It's just interesting. But all of us, even at the office, because we still have some divisions at the office. Like one of my friends at the office is a huge Trump supporter. And that is fine with me. She can have her opinion, and I am totally okay with that. What I'm not okay with is when people who have differing opinions don't let them talk about it. So Tony, my question for you is, what's your opinion on the current political crisis we're in? The crisis of being unable to compromise and not having any moderates in there. Tony, I'll see you on Tuesday. Later, bro.